this is about. We're calling on Congress to pass the Pain Capable Unborn Child Protection Act, which will prohibit abortions at the point where children can feel pain, which most scientific studies say is around, I guess, I don't know the exact week, but it's sometime in the second trimester. So again, not in the end zone, but in an attempt to get to the end zone, we make some progress to eliminate some abortions in this country. Of course, another constitutional amendment. I'm not a big fan of constitutional amendments, but sometimes that's all you have left when the courts have run roughshod. So you've got to respond. Since they amended the Constitution by legal decision, the only way to legitimately turn around and overturn this interpretation of the Constitution is to clarify it for them and let them know exactly what our country wants. And so I would be an advocate, as I was in the United States Senate when I helped draft the Federal Marriage Amendment. And the only time the United States Senate ever voted on a federal marriage amendment is when I forced the United States Senate to vote on a federal marriage amendment. We did very well. We had a majority, but we didn't pass it because you need a 2/3 majority. But I will advocate as President of the United States for a federal marriage amendment to the Constitution to make it clear forever that marriage is between one man and one woman, and give children and society the best chance for a healthy and successful civilization.
Thank you.
I will call on Congress to do something they shouldn't have done in a lame duck session. I will call on Congress to do something they should have done in the light of day after full debate, and have the American people involved in that debate, and to focus our national security and our military on one job. Not the job of trying to transform society, but the job of focusing in on making sure that our men and women have the best possible atmosphere to defend our country successfully, efficiently, and effectively, and that is to call the Congress to reinstate Don't Ask, Don't Tell within our military. Another area that we see a lot of, I see a lot of concern in is the practice of faith within your workplace. There are a lot of people who are discriminated against in the workplace because of their religious beliefs, and there are not sufficient protections in place to do so. We need to pass the Workplace Religious Freedom Act, something that I had authored many years ago, and I will push for the passage of that to make sure people of faith have their faith protected in the workplace. Thank you. I will call on Congress to redirect funds and reinstitute 2008 level funding for community-based absence education programs. These are programs that I advocated for when I was in the United States Senate. We pushed to make sure that programs that were funded by the federal government were funded programs that had absence-only programs, that we weren't funding. We were providing people, children, the best opportunity to avoid sexually transmitted diseases, the best opportunity to avoid unplanned pregnancies, and that is to learn the proper role of sex in your life, to understand what sexual contact was made for, and the respect that you should have for your own body as a young person. That's what absence education programs are all about. That's why we need to reinstitute them into the federal government. I think this is the final one, so I can say so. Yeah, it's the final one. And this is to advocate. I mean, I talk about this, those of you have heard me talk about education. And I ask parents this question all the time. How many parents are only concerned when it comes to raising your children about their academic accomplishments? Hello? There it is. Okay. How many parents are just concerned when it comes to the raising of their children about their academic accomplishments? Unfortunately, we have schools in America today, that's all we test for. That's all we seem to focus on. And yet, I don't know any employer, when they try to hire somebody, all they do is look at their grade point average. They look at the entire person. We have an education system that doesn't look at the entire person and educate with character and virtue and morality and spirituality, all those components that every parent would like to see their children have. And one of the reasons for that is that we have laws in place that block God from being even mentioned in the school. Well, there's one small thing we can do, at least to begin to push back on that the courts have pushed away, and that is to advocate for a federal law permitting schools to allow prayer at graduations, football games, and other school functions. Let's at least outside of the school have at least the right for people to come forward if they want to mention God and to make sure that children know that that's a very important part of their life and our country and our culture. With that, thank you. It's a long list, but it's an important list, and it's not an exhaustive list. These are just ideas that we put forward and things that we want to accomplish, but there's much, much more to do. But I wanted to lay out for everyone to know that the people of Iowa, a lot of these suggestions were things that I got from talking to the people of Iowa that they thought were important for our country if we were going to regain a strong America, economically, morally, culturally, and otherwise. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity to, in some ways, speak for the people of Iowa that I met with over these last several months in the 99 counties. And I hope that what I've talked about here resonates with not just the people of Iowa, but the people all over America. If they want someone who, yes, is concerned about national security and has as much experience as anybody in that area, yes, is someone who has strong plans for growing this economy and for limiting government and repealing Obamacare and the like, but someone who understands that all of this intertwines into who we are as a people and a culture, and that we have to have a strong families and strong culture to be able to support a strong and prosperous and free America. With that, I thank you all very much, and God bless you. Thank you.
We want to mention three things as we close today. First of all, thank you for coming. We've got food in the back, and we want to have every single person who has honored us with their presence to get a chance to talk with Senator Santorum. He's going to be here for a long time, as long as it takes to meet every single one of you to say thank you. Secondly, we have some little white Santorum cards to give you, and we need you to fill those out. We are looking for caucus captains who will represent us in their neighborhoods, in their communities, at their places of work, in their schools, on their campuses, in their churches, and be ambassadors in their communities for the Rick Santorum campaign. We're about 60 days away from the most important Iowa caucus in this state's history. And we want you to help us, because we cannot do it without you. We have got to get this message across all 99 counties and water the seeds that we have planted in the last many months. So please don't leave here without giving us one of those cards.
Let me just make one comment about that. A lot of campaigns will come out and tell you that they need your help and the support. But they're lying. They don't. I do. all those campaigns have a lot more money than we do. They got a lot more coverage on the national media than we do. I really need you. Okay? So please help us sign up. Be our, as Jamie said, be our ambassadors here in Iowa. Be the folks who now have had that personal interaction. And I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd here, but have had that personal interaction to be able to step up and make sure that the voice of the heartland is heard. Not just the money in New York, not just the folks the editors at the magazines and newspapers and televisions who work out in New York, but in fact, the heartland is heard from. And that's what you've always done in Iowa, and that I trust you'll do again. Thank you all very much, and God bless you.
You are all invited to our campaign headquarters after you have a chance to meet and greet and have some food. We've got people who will direct you across the street to the actual campaign headquarters that's going to carry us on to victory on caucus night on January 3rd. So please come out and take a look at our headquarters. Go ahead and mingle with one another. Thank you so much for coming. God bless you. God bless Iowa.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am. Appreciate your help. Charlie. Is that what you were talking about? Yeah. Charlie. Thank you. Charlie.